So, there has been some atrocities around the world very recently. The most recent, of course, happening in Paris, where 127 people lost their lives to some vicious attacks made by this so-called ISIL or ISIS or Al Qaeda, Hamas, whatever you want to call them. To me, what I call them is pathetic human beings who have no morals, no values, no distinction between religion and life, following a barbaric part of what they have taken out of context of the Quran and used it for their malicious and condescending, I would like to say, attacks around the world in order to put fear in people's hearts. A lot of people have got conspiracy theories that it's the US government, it is Israel. But a lot of people say not all Muslims are terrorists, but at the moment all terrorists are Muslims. Okay. However, I don't agree with that in any sort of way, shape, or form. Just like I don't agree with all Israelites or Jews are bad people. Not at all. I also don't consider all Americans to be bad people, or all British people, or any other race to be evil or bad, or to have a certain plan to take over the world by creating these wars in the Middle East. I feel that these have happened because of various issues that are happening around the world that haven't been looked at in the correct manner by our government, by any other government, in regards to the Afghan war, the Iraq war, what's happening in Palestine, Syria, Lebanon, and various other parts of the world. I did say some of them countries mispronunciation, so I do apologise. But Beirut got bombed the other day. Of course, there was a mosque that was bombed, and a couple of hundred people lost their lives there. But of course, that was not shown upon the news as at this point everybody wanted to concentrate on France, which I don't object to a certain extent. I, of course, do believe that every country, despite what race you are, should get their, recognition on TV, making sure that the people around the world are knowing what's going on in these other countries, not just Western or white European countries or white America. Not that I am a racist in any sort of way, shape, or form. I am half Pakistani, quarter English, and quarter Irish. But again, that doesn't mean that I'm not racist or anything of that nature, just because of my background of where I am from. However, I'm just stating a fact that I do not hold any grudges upon any race. However, a lot of British people at this point, after the French attack, have become very patriotic, in the sense to say, "I am British. We will fight ISIS if it comes to the UK." First of all, to them British people, you've never been to the Middle East. You've never been in a war. You don't know what you are talking about. If a war hit you in the face, just like me, you wouldn't know what to do. Of course, there are some very heroic people out there, but there are also a lot of cowardice people out there at the same time as well that can talk the talk, but generally will not walk the walk. To them people, I say, you have at the moment got your British flags out. You are being very Islamophobic, very racist towards Muslim people, not knowing that, of course, there are a lot of white Muslims, black Muslims, Asian Muslims, and when I mean Asian, I mean from the Philippines, from places like Japan, China, Malaysia, around the world. Of course, Islam is a multicultural religion, so you have all different types of race. Of course, you British people, the ones with no education, of course, I don't mean the educated British, I mean the ones that don't have any education or lack of education and follow the crowd and jump on the bandwagon, listen to EDL, Britain's First, and of course other posts such as you don't generally know what you're talking about. At the moment, you have got your British flags out, fighting the good, talking the good talk, which I've got no objection to. However, what are you currently doing for your country? And this goes out to the people that are generally on benefits, and again, like I said, lack of education with your British flags out, but yet you are not even contributing towards your own country. You are scrounging off the government, you are in the government housing, they're paying your rent, they're paying your bills. It's people like me And of course, a lot of other white British people, a lot of Asian British people from all different parts of the world, Africans, Jamaicans that are working, that are contributing, paying taxes, that pay your way of life. So give it a break. Until you're not doing something for your country, you can't say anything. I, however, do hold some very British values itself. I was born and raised in this country, and I love England. I love Europe. I love uh, the democracy, liberal, the freedom of speech, being able to do and say what I want when I want, and not having any backlash to it. Of course, freedom of speech goes as far as saying, as long as you are not offending people in a horrific type of way, then it's absolutely fine to do. But even still, freedom of speech is freedom of speech. You have your own opinion. In regards to the Charlie Hebdo attack in France that happened at the start of the year, I was totally against that. I believe if you want to draw pictures of the Prophet, fine, you should just wipe it off your shoulder. Yes, it's offensive towards the Muslim society. However, don't take it as a personal attack. This cartoonist not only offended Muslims, but they offended Jews in the past. They've offended Hitler, the Holocaust, the Pope. So they're not just attacking Islam, which is what was the main point and should have been the centre of attention at that point, to say, look, they're not doing it on purpose. They're not, this freedom of speech, and that's what they want to do. As far as all these conspiracy theories go, when you come to talking about America's ruling the world, Israel's ruling the world, nobody knows the bottom of it. Despite what you've read, what you've researched, nobody knows the true story. In regards to Palestine and Israel, yes, a lot of Palestinians are dying, and I feel very sorry for them. A few Jews or Israel people have lost their lives as well. I don't know the right context of how to identify their race in that sort of terminology itself, as I don't really come, encounter with a lot of Jewish people or people from Israel, should I say. But there is a reason for that war. Now we don't know. We know that Palestine has shrunk in the last decade or 2 decades, and has become a very small place with a wall around it. But that is not a European problem. I know it's bad to say people are losing their lives. We're all human. We should be helping other humans. But it is not a European problem. It is not an American problem. It's a Middle Eastern problem. There are Muslim countries out there, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran, and the list goes on, that could be helping these refugees go there. However, the refugees don't want to go to Muslim countries because they don't get the same freedom that they would get in Western countries. So if you are coming here for that reason, then respect England, respect Europe, respect the reason that you are here. Do not take it for granted. It gets me very, very angry, especially Muslim people and Pakistani people that are born and raised in the UK and you don't hold any British values. Get out of the country. You do not deserve to be here. You don't have freedom of speech. If you want to, follow Sharia law, which I've got nothing against, move to an Islamic country. You are living in the land of the West, where we have freedom of choice, freedom of religion, freedom of what we want to wear. If you don't agree with any of them values, then get out of the country. You are not a prisoner in Europe. You're not a prisoner in Britain. You are here for the sole reason that you prosper in this country. If you prosper, you drive a nice car, you own your own home, things that you could not be doing, in Islamic countries, in Pakistan, Libya, Syria, and the list goes on. If you can't do that there, that's why you are here. However, again, like I said, get out of my country. If you are here to harm anybody, if you want to harm innocent people, get out. You are not welcome here. And I want to make this clear. This is not just the way that I think. I have roughly around about, I'd say maybe about 400 or 500 Muslim friends, or from different cultures and different races, all with the same opinion. So it's not a very small minority of us that think this way. It is a very, very high percentage of the Muslim population, especially in the UK, that don't get any news feed or any news coverage. I've been to various different protests, and there may have been one journalist from an unknown newspaper or a very small newspaper. Nothing like BBC or CNN or Fox News or ITV News. None of this was publicised. And literally, I'm talking. You're looking at thousands upon thousands of people with the same view that was against the 9/11 terror attacks, that was against the 7/7 bombing, that was also against what's happening in Palestine and what's happening in Kenya at the moment, in Beirut, and all of these various other countries that are against all of these terrorism attacks. I am a Muslim. I'm not a practicing Muslim. I don't generally follow the religion. I do believe in the religion to a certain extent. Um, even though a lot of Muslims watching this video may think, well, what do you mean by a certain extent? I don't really need to explain myself. I am still researching into the religion. I am trying to find what makes me happy. Okay? But terrorism is wrong. Terrorism is not the way of Islam. Terrorism is not the way of Christianity. Terrorism is not the way of Judaism or Hinduism or Buddhism or any other religion. Does not, well, how to put it, does not agree with these groups. They are gangsters. They are horrible, pathetic, psychopathic people that may have had a very bad childhood, may have been sexually abused in their early days, and hence the reason why they've turned out the way they are. So I just want to say to my British people, don't put us all in the same book. Don't brush us all with the same brush. There are a lot of good Muslims that are putting a lot into the country, that have been here, like my granddad from 1947, that came here for the sole reason of opening businesses, prospering, making their families' lives better, and they have made Britain better. We have put money into the economy. We have drove Britain forward. Not saying that we're a huge contribution, but we are a contribution. So we should not all be attacked for this reason. There are a lot of educated British people out there. And for the uneducated British people, I would just like to say, I'm not attacking you in any sort of way, shape or form. I love you, you are my people. Whether you're white, black, brown, Asian, whatever, wherever you're from, I love you all. However, do some research. Speak to a Muslim. Speak to a Jew, speak to a Christian, let's see. Get a point of view. Don't just follow, EDL or Britain's First or any of these other right-wing groups. And just like I don't follow any left-wing groups, I don't follow any Muslim, preachers that hate Britain, that hate the values. I don't follow anything like that, and I know a lot of people don't. To the Muslim scholars that are actually preaching hate, fuck you. Simple as. Nothing more to it. Stop preaching hate. Preach love. You are killing a living soul of the earth. You are killing the earth. The earth was here before humans. Nobody owns these lands. England, America, Pakistan. These are all names given because we took over these countries but the land was already here. Save the earth, save planet Earth. Contribute towards recycling. Do something good in the local society. Join together. Build more community centres. Forget building mosques in the UK all the time. Build community centres where everybody can go. If you want to build a mosque with a community centre, fine. But don't just make it just for Muslims. Make sure that other people from different societies are coming. Invite them. Put yourself on a stage. Show people around the world that the 1.7 billion Muslims out there do not agree with these terrorism acts. Get on a stage in your own country, whether you're in Pakistan, whether you're in India, whether you're in England, whether you're in France, no matter where you are in the world, get up on a stage, get your friends, get some media coverage, show these terrorists that we do not agree with them whatsoever. They are 0.003%, according to government statistics by the US, by Israel, by Britain, by France. 0.003% of the Muslim population is terrorists. As an example, David Cameron said that if even 10% of the Muslim population were terrorists, we would no longer cease to exist, because that would be a huge number and that would be a complete atrocity. I just want to say, I know I'm going to get a lot of negative comments, possibly people saying what is he rambling on about, which I can possibly understand. That I know this isn't the best video, and I'm not trying to be the best at anything. I'm just trying to put my voice across, and I just want people to hear me in regards to that sort of sense. I'm not, and I just want to preach love. Love each other. When you're born, when you're in school, you're in nursery, colour doesn't matter, religion doesn't matter. Let's get back to that. Let's get back to the roots of when we was children. As children, we look at our children, we're trying to make this world better. Let's make it better. It's getting worse, but let's get back to what it could be like, what it should be like. Let's all live in harmony and peace. That's all that we need to do. Take First of all, take down the Gaza wall. Let them people live in freedom. Let Israel and Palestine deal with it together. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, but it will happen, and it can happen if everybody else stops getting involved. Let them two deal it out themselves. Break down that wall. Let everybody live in peace and harmony, like they did back in the day. If so called, of course, there's no evidence of when Jesus Christ was on earth. But at that point, when everybody used to live together, Muslims, Christians, Jews, so we need to do that. And again, I just want to thank anybody that's watching this video. If you have any comments, leave them. Thank you. Take care.